mentioned, yes, Aurora has been something that we have been like expected for over a really long time. So if you really look at the roadmap, we started actually building like the initial version of EVM support all the way back into, I guess like Q1 or Q2 last year, right? And through that process, we realized that this is actually more difficult than we thought. It's not just simply about supporting like Ethereum smart contract and try to redeploy it on near. Because what Ethereum is really cool, especially in DeFi space, that there's like so much composability. It's like this protocol, this I guess like the derivative protocol might actually be based on compound plus maker, and all those can combine. You can actually start doing those cool stuff, and that's why we just took I guess like a much more rigorous approach to make sure that EVM can no longer not only just support like the contract side, but also like almost like supporting all the tooling around it. So the first version of EVM or Aurora is probably going to launch in the next like 2 to 4 weeks. But like the full support version, including that you can literally just open up a MetaMask or an M token to pretty much like access everything on here without even knowing it. Probably going to be like later this quarter or the next one. So that's like really, really cool. I mean, the idea is pretty simple. Is that we just try to get existing like contracts on Ethereum to redeploy on near with little to like no cost. And that way you can bring a lot of those like DeFi activities to near as well. But what really enables, at least like from my personal perspective, is that you almost just like borrows Ethereum's like infra, because Rainbow Bridge is the only decentralized like bridge on the market yet. Is like relatively fast. I mean, as fast you can make it like as a decentralized bridge, and you can essentially borrow all those assets over. And whether that's like EVM based application or nearest native application, whether it's like in DeFi or in NFT, they can all benefit from that, because at the end of the day, like everyone needs stablecoin as a form of payment at some point, right? That means like Chainlink is currently in the work to make sure like the price feed can support Aurora like properly. Because a lot of like DeFi protocol like Aave, which we talked to like many times before, they do need like Chainlink to be able to launch on Aurora as well, right? That also means like the graph, because at the end of the day, everyone can like need the indexer. So the graph is already working on like the native deployment of their like indexer on the native side of things on near, but at the same time, we definitely also want to support the EVM on near as well. So I guess that's enough about the EVM side of things, but more on like Rainbow Bridge itself. For the Ethereum like implementation, we will definitely like speed up the transaction from near to east, because right now we took like super conservative approach, and it just haven't been like such a huge need to speed it up yet. So that's like one thing that we'll probably like focus more on now that the bridge is already launched. We also plan to incorporate the NFT connector. Yes, you heard it right. Like Rainbow Bridge is actually one of the few bridges that can actually like move NFT between near and east in a very safe and decentralized manner. We also plan to add support for sending near tokens to Ethereum. So that's kind of like a wrap up of all the Ethereum like support for Rainbow Bridge.